you can't just look at the macro and say all is rosy. You have to look at the various markets which influence aircraft leasing. And they really are going to be the demand for aircraft, the creditworthiness of the airlines, the capital markets, the banking market, the amount of liquidity, and people's return expectations. And at certain points in the cycle, they all change. Sometimes they interact together, and sometimes they interact quite differently.
Short answer is yes. What's interesting is this cycle has lasted longer, not just in our space, but in globally and generally. Yeah. The big question will be, when will rates rise? I think oil, it would be tough to see oil rising, spiking, except for event risks, North Korea or what have you. I think that the cycle is coming in the sense that even if we're in the triple L cycle here, lackluster and lame in terms of growth and economic robustness, there's an overcapacity.
I mean, fundamentally here, our sector is driven by demand for travel, and that demand is strong when GDP performance is strong, and it weakens when GDP performance weakens. So I think if we're looking for triggers, we should probably look towards what economists are saying about where the world economy is.
Yeah. There'll need to be another 3 or 4 big lessors out there. And I think that'll happen because the market will demand it, and they will evolve as they move up the value chain, as you said earlier on. So I think we will see that happen because the current complex of lessors would not be able to cope with that level of capital requirement. So
I'm super excited about developments in long-haul traffic and the fact that, again, with Tony Fernandez with AirAsia X, picking up where Freddie Laker left off many years ago, and now Norwegian and now Level, and the fact that there is acknowledgement from most people in the industry that long-haul, low-cost is here to stay, it will work.
Asia will continue to be an area of growth. Right now, about 44% of our whole business is in Asia, and of that, about half is in China. Wow. And that I see continuing. We're also seeing a bit more growth and strength in Eastern Europe, and in fact, actually in Russia, where we've enjoyed some recent placements. Europe actually continues to grow quite stably in terms of its leasing and aircraft requirements, but I would say Eastern Europe and Russia is more of a bright spot than I would have thought a year ago, and I think it will be the same going forward.
We have invested significantly in the last number of years in our information technology, our information and technology platforms. I mean, I think one of the things that you will know, Tom, there's a huge amount of data comes with every transaction, both the physical aircraft, the transaction, the lease, there's a lot of stuff, and we have invested heavily, and I believe successfully, in building a platform that can help us manage that information in a very effective, efficient way.
But with M&A activity, there's challenges to that as well, with integration and chemistry and synergies, etc. And so I think you'll see a bit of both. I think you'll see some further consolidation, but I also think you'll see a lot of new capital coming into the sector. We're seeing, as I said, pension funds, life assurance companies, sovereign wealth funds, all looking to, well, certainly evaluate the sector and possibly participate in it.